NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitation.
Good evening. It's Monday, October 30. I am Leon Nash with the latest NRP news. Here are the headlines. Earthquake rattles Jamaica, but no fatality or major damage reported. Prime Minister says thanks to God for sparing the worst. New officers elected for the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica. PNP Councillor caretaker pulled following charges in domestic violence incident. And in sports, Afghanistan keeps their World Cup semi-final dream alive with a comfortable 7-wicket win over Sri Lanka. The news today is brought to you courtesy of Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
Now to the main stories. Activities were disrupted across the island and people ran from buildings Monday morning as a 5.6 magnitude earthquake was felt across the island. The earthquake's epicenter was 6 miles away from Port Antonio, Portland. People felt the quake in every parish, some saying it went on for as long as 10 seconds. No major damage or fatality has been reported, but there were reports of cracks in buildings, furniture shifted out of positions, and items falling from shelves, including in supermarkets and other business places. The regular Monday meeting of the cabinet was paused. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a statement appealing to the country to be calm and pointing out that aftershocks could be expected. Many traffic lights in the capital city and in Montego Bay stopped working, creating chaos at major intersections. Activities were disrupted at the Supreme Court, where Chief Justice Brian Sykes said he took the precaution of going under a desk, and court staff conformed with the protocol of going under desks or leaving the building. Some offices downtown Kingston, especially on multi-story buildings, also closed early. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness issued a statement shortly after the quake. Cabinet was in its regular Monday meeting, which was disrupted by the tremor. Mr. Holness said thanks to God for sparing the worst. He pointed out that preliminary assessment had indicated that there was no death or major damage reported. He stated the airports remained open at this time.
The damage assessment so far is that damage has been minor, but nevertheless, we are taking all precautions. All the necessary protocols have been activated. Here, at this point, I want to say to all Jamaicans, remain calm. It is likely that after the initial shock, there are usually aftershocks. Is that the damage that has been assessed is not significant, but nevertheless, we are taking all precautions. Just a word, our airports are open and we have not received any reports of death. And so we give God thanks for sparing us the worst.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has confirmed that several people turned up at hospitals complaining of panic attacks and anxiety related to the earthquake. There were also reports that at least 3 school children received injuries at schools related to the earthquake and were treated at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. New officers have been elected to serve the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica, the LMAJ. Lyndon Trevor Heaven was returned as president for another term. Vice President is Paulette Kirkland, Secretary Andrea Brown Dennis, and Assistant Secretary Michael Morris. Other officers include Treasurer Moyina Nangle Beach and Assistant Treasurer Merlin Daly. Regional vice presidents for the counties are Cornwall, Claudette Brand, Middlesex, Reverend Florizel Allen, and Surrey, Raymond Grant. 13 directors were also elected. The officers were to serve or are to serve 2 years. The elections took place at the annual general meeting of the LMAJ at the Garden Life building on Saturday. The People's National Party has revoked its candidacy or the candidacy of one of its councillors or councillor caretakers set to run in the next local government elections. This after the candidate, who is from St. Elizabeth, was charged with assault occasioning bodily harm. He is O'Shane Gale, a teacher. Gale was charged after an altercation with his spouse that turned physical in their home at the weekend. He was charged on Sunday. The PNP in a statement said it condemned the alleged incident. The party said it has, quote, expressed deep concern and condemnation of the alleged actions, emphasizing that violence within the context of a domestic dispute entirely is inconsistent with the PNP's core values, end quote. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. This information package is brought to you by Hepburn's Glass Supplies, Chisholm Avenue in Kingston. Let's pause for just a moment.
This is NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitation.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glass and stock, gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
Continuing the news. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has expressed support for the right of innocent people of the Middle East not to suffer from violence and for them to live in peace. Mr. Holness said he wanted to see peace in the region, but did not specifically mention Gaza and the Palestinians or Israel. Israel has been carrying out bombing in Gaza since October 7, killing more than 8,000 Palestinians, more than a third of them children. The Israeli action followed a surprise attack on that state by Hamas, whose fighters killed more than 1,400 people, most of whom were civilians. Mr. Holness called for peace, or his call for peace came while addressing party supporters at a Jamaica Labour Party function in St. James on Sunday night.
Of all peoples, respect. My heart goes out to the people of the Middle East who are in conflict now. Some of you may be watching your televisions and you're seeing the senseless killing of innocent civilians. Jamaica, as a peaceful, developing country, wants to see peace. And we want to see the human rights of all peoples respected. And those who have power have a greater responsibility to ensure that people's human rights are protected.
That was Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The Prime Minister's statement came after a weekend in which the government received a battering over its failure to cast a vote in the United Nations General Assembly Friday. More than 120 countries voted for the resolution moved by and that called for a Syrian truce. The government said deliberations between its representatives at the UN and Kingston were taking place at the time of the vote. That position has been harshly criticized by the opposition and several foreign affairs analysts. And now we move to sports, coming up right here on the station. Of course, let's tell you that the time is now 6:41. Keep it locked right here on nrpmediaja.com. This is where you stop by for all of your information, whether it be news and sports, whether it be the weather, whether it be music and additional information. Stay with us. The sports is up next.
NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitation.
Welcome back, and in sports, Afghanistan kept their World Cup semi-final dream alive with a comfortable 7-wicket win over Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had put on a decent score of 241 all out, with Ramat Shah making 62. Afghanistan then had a partnership of 111 to win with 28 balls to spare. Victory moves Afghanistan to 5th place, within 2 points of 4th place Australia. The World Cup is taking place in India. And finally, national senior women's team, the Reggae Girls, were held to a 2-2 draw by Guatemala at the National Stadium in Kingston on Sunday. This gives the girls their first point in the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup qualifying Group B. The girls lost their first match 1-2 to Panama last week in Panama. That's sports. And that's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America. The VOA is our international partner, and we touch base with them right now.
This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. Israel is expanding its ground incursion into Gaza and said Monday it killed dozens of Hamas terrorists overnight. The incursion comes as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening. Linda Gradstein reports for VOA from Jerusalem.
Israeli tanks and troops pushed further into the northern Gaza Strip overnight Sunday, reaching the outskirts of densely populated Gaza City as Israel continued its unrelenting airstrikes on Gaza. Israel said it killed dozens of Hamas terrorists who had barricaded themselves inside buildings. The expanded Israeli incursion came amid a growing humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Health Ministry said the death toll since the Israeli airstrikes began more than 3 weeks ago passed 8,300, more than half of them women and children. Linda Gradstein, VOA News, Jerusalem.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Monday Israel's ground campaign in Gaza created the possibility for the release of more than 200 hostages being held by militant group Hamas. Israel said on Monday its forces freed a soldier from Hamas captivity during the ground offensive in the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu also said Israel was not prepared to agree to a ceasefire with Hamas.
Just as the United States would not agree to a ceasefire after the bombing of Pearl Harbor or after the terrorist attack of 9/11, Israel will not agree to a cessation of hostilities with Hamas after the horrific attacks of October 7th.
U.S. House of Representatives Republicans on Monday introduced a plan to provide $14.3 billion in aid to Israel by cutting funding for the tax-collecting Internal Revenue Service, setting up a showdown with Democrats who control the Senate. House Republicans unveiled a standalone supplemental spending bill only for Israel. This is VOA News. A man from the U.S. Midwestern state of Illinois has pleaded not guilty to hate crime and murder charges in an attack on a Muslim mother and son AP correspondent Shelley Adler reports.
A 71-year-old man has pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, attempted murder, and a hate crime in an attack on a Palestinian-American woman and her son. Joseph Zuba appeared in court on 8 counts from an indictment by an Illinois grand jury. He's charged in the fatal stabbing of a 6-year-old boy and the wounding of the boy's 32-year-old mother earlier this month. Zuba, who was the family's landlord, was said to be upset over the Israel-Hamas war and attacked the family after the mother had urged him to pray for peace. The next court hearing is January 8th. I'm Shelley Adler.
Authorities in the northeastern U.S. state of Maine spent Monday continuing to piece together the events that led to the worst mass shooting in history. The suspect's record of interaction with police and warning signs involving mental illness and violent threats emerged as key threads. Officials say the shooter underwent a mental health evaluation after acting erratically at an Army training facility in New York last summer. Court arguments are beginning in the effort to keep former U.S. President Donald Trump from running for his old job again, AP correspondent Julie Walker reports.
The first set of arguments start in a Colorado court. A judge has scheduled a week-long hearing on whether a clause in the 14th Amendment barring someone who engaged in insurrection against the U.S. means Trump can't run for president in Colorado. On Thursday, the Minnesota Supreme Court will consider the same issue for the Minnesota ballot. Either case could reach the U.S. Supreme Court. The nation's highest court has never ruled on the clause, which was added after the Civil War. Trump has railed against the lawsuits, along with the other cases against him, as election interference. I'm Julie Walker.
Haiti's government has banned all charter flights to Nicaragua that migrants fleeing poverty and violence had been increasingly using in their quest to reach the United States. The order was issued Monday in a brief bulletin the Associated Press obtained. A couple of thousand bewildered travelers stranded in a parking lot facing Haiti's main international airport in the capital Port-au-Prince, surrounded by their luggage, with some holding babies. More than 260 flights departing Haiti and believed to have carried up to 31,000 migrants have landed in the Central American country of Nicaragua since early August, as Haiti's crisis deepens, with gangs estimated to now control 80% of Port-au-Prince. I'm Joe Ramsey.
Thank you very much, Joe. That was the latest from the international news, from the VOA, that is, with our international news package. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you knew of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at National Religious Media JA. That's National Religious Media JA at gmail.com, or call us at 876-336-9928. Before we go, here are the headlines once again. Earthquake rattles Jamaica, but no fatality or major damage reported. Prime Minister says thanks to God for sparing the worst. New officers elected for the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica. PNP councillor caretaker pulled following charges in a domestic violence incident. And in sports, Afghanistan keeps their World Cup semi-final dream alive with a comfortable 7-wicket win over Sri Lanka. Once again, the news is brought to you courtesy of Hepburn's Glass Supplies. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. Let's hear from them the final time.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, closets at very least. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quart in our entire stock of float glasses. We even stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none. Same-day cutting for measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 900962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
Here is your invitation to join us again at 6:30 tomorrow for the morning newscast right here on NRP Radio. I am Leon Nash for NRP News. Stand by for the weather that will be coming your way momentarily. This is NRP Radio. It's now time for your weather report and forecast. The National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there is a significant feature of a broad trough across the Central Caribbean, including Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the region over the next several days. In our 24-hour forecast, tonight isolated showers across eastern and central parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere. Tomorrow morning, isolated showers and possible thunderstorms across eastern parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere. Tomorrow afternoon, showers and isolated thunderstorms across sections of most parishes. In our 3-day forecast, that's after tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday to Friday, on Wednesday and Thursday, expect isolated morning showers and thunderstorms across eastern and central parishes. Afternoon showers and thunderstorms across most parishes, and it will also be windy. On Friday, expect isolated morning showers and thunderstorms across south, central, and eastern. Isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms mainly across southern and eastern parishes. It will also be windy. In terms of other current regional weather features, there is an area of low pressure east of the northwestern Bahamas, and this has a low chance of a tropical cyclone development over days. There is also an area of low pressure across the eastern Caribbean Sea, and this too has a low chance of a tropical cyclone development over the next 2 days. In terms of our maximum temperature expected for Kingston tonight and also for Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. This is your latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. Continue to listen 24 hours per day for you as the hours pass. This is NRP Radio. Just listens to the NRP weather report and forecast.
NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Radio listener is another opportunity to join the NRP family and stay for the fellowship in word, features, and music 24/7. Join us every Thursday morning for one of the newest programs, Mind Your Mental Health Business, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Thursday morning. Mind Your Mental Health Business, produced and presented by Pastor Jenny Scale, also known as Pastor J, out of the USA, and is geared towards individuals focusing on themselves, their purpose and calling, understanding that it is with the mind that we serve God and by extension our fellow man, concluding that there is no good health without good mental health. Pastor J wants you also to know that whatever affects your mental health affects our relationship with God. Join her Thursday 9 a.m. for 1 hour of Mind Your Mental Health Business right here on NRP Radio, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations.
This is NRP Radio. It's now time for your weather report and forecast.
Radio listener brothers and sisters, join Pastor Billy Powell and the True Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic Cheapside, Manchester, right here on NRP Radio for the Transformed by His Power broadcast. It happens every Sunday night at 10 o'clock. Come on in and be blessed. Be ye transformed by His power. Come in and worship the Lord with us in Jesus' name.
I have decided to follow Jesus.
National Religious Partnership NRP Media.
Hi,
the
I'm
managing
Janine,
company
and
or
I'm
owners and
Kalisha.
operators of NRP Radio. NRP Media is primarily a religious-based organization which gives direction to all of its offshoots and operates under the mantra, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. NRP Media operates on a 24-hour basis, providing programming and music of different religious genres. We are located in the Christiana era, Christiana PO, Manchester, Jamaica. Contact us via email nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or via telephone 876-336-9928. You can also make contact with us through our social media platforms posted on our website at nrpmediaja.com. NRP Media, your trusted source, and is NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
All right, it's just about 3 minutes going up to the hour of 7 o'clock. We want to say thanks to you. Leon Nash is my name, if you didn't hear before. Yes, and we have just presented to you our package of information, local news, international news, sports, the weather, and of course, we've got the inserts there speaking to the stories that we presented this evening. We want to invite you to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30, as we said before, for our next newscast. And of course, we're doing it just for you. All right, and so we thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to invite you now for those of you who will be joining the YouTube channel. Please encourage others to subscribe and share the channel with you in terms of what's happening here. Subscribe to the channel. It's NRP Media JA, right? That's on YouTube. And of course, we are also on our radio platform. That's on nrpmediaja.com. So right at this time, we're going to be closing off the online channels. That's the YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook page, and invite you to join us on our radio platform right now on nrpmediaja.com for the continuation of our radio programming. Have for yourself a good evening, and we look forward to hearing from you in short order right here on this station. Of course, we can give you a little bit more information as we make our way.
It's new. It's The Upper Room at 8 p.m. The newest and most riveting and engaging discussion program on biblical matters. Once again, right here on nrpmediaja.com every Sundays, 8 to 10 p.m. It's all about things you know, things you thought you know, and things you're not truly sure about. nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. We know you are concerned about what is happening around you when your movement is curtailed, but yes, you still need fresh ground provision, vegetables. Psalm 27 verse 14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." You're listening to the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, broadcasting on the platform of nrpmediaja.com. The time is you name it.
Now
Let
7
Providence
o'clock.
Unlocked supply
7
it
o'clock
straight
right
to where
here
you are
on
in
NRP Radio. 7 in the evening. Please keep it locked right here. Tell others about this station, the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio. We will continue to broadcast on this platform. And of course, we hope very, very soon to also go on to the frequency modulation, that's FM band. All right, so keep it locked right here and continue to spread the word as we ask you to stay with us with some music. as we move forward in this year broadcast. Bless you and have for yourselves a very good evening once again. NRP radio listeners, hey, welcome to NRPMediaJA.com, the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio. Join us right here on this platform every Saturday at 1 o'clock for Sports 365 with your host, Coach Luds, Ludlow Luddy B. Barker. He'll be your host of Sports 365 right here on NRPMediaJA.com every Saturday at 1 o'clock. Join him, participate, and be part of the sports discussion. It's going to be 365 on NRP Media JA. Coach Luds will be leading the team of panelists, and of course we'll be bringing you all the news and information that are happening right there in